All right, we're going to do a quick Wednesday recap for 10 talent trading. I think this is week 3 or 4 of running at this account challenge. We are up right now 7.44% on the week. Had some small losses throughout the week, kind of bled out a little bit coming into the new month of March. In the last couple days, a couple 1%, 2% losers. I'll pull that up on the screen right now for the playbook. We're still running with the opening flag at the market open, which is 9:30, where I'm at here in Michigan, um, for a win loss ratio of 60%, average win size of 5.12%, with one reasonably large outlier, and then an average loss size of negative 2.7%. Again, with one outlier that we talked about in the previous video. Average profit loss just under our 2% goal for what we have right now in our yearly account goal, um, for the daily profit. So, looking at the last couple trades that we've made since the last video, we came off. I'm trying to think what day that would be. Looking at my calendar real quick. Last time I talked about it was the 25th. So we talked about this decent sized winner on XWEL. Um, really upped our discipline over the last few days. Market got a little bit more hot, especially in the pre-market. We saw a lot of bull flag plays. It's got me talking to my buddy John to see if it makes more sense, to get in a little bit earlier. Maybe get in at 7 to 9 and try to do the same bull flag before market open. Trying to decide exactly what the best move is there on that. I'll chat with him more about it. But today we've got a pretty decent mover in ASNS. We took some decent profit off of that. $4.88, 3.88%. Sorry, $4.88 would be a better way to put that. But 3.88% up on the day, which is well above our goal, but not if we average everything out. If we average everything out, um, we're still, like I said, that 1.99%. And this gave us a really good setup, bouncing off the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart. I think we were in at 36. Yep, this is a canceled order. They always drop to the bottom in the Robinhood, but at 49 cents, we were in. Sorry, I keep covering that up. At 36, and we were out with our last scale out at 44. Entered at, just kind of break this trade down because I feel like this is a good one for following along with the play. In this pullback, I got in a little bit early, expecting an early continuation. Still noticing that I'm a bit biased on that front. But I think, which one was it? 36 candle making a new high, expecting a continuation off of. Yeah, that's what it was. It dropped down. Oh no, I was in here. 36.11. So definitely could have had a better entry on this pullback through here. Should have been in probably 39, and I think I was back in because I scaled in and back out relatively quick in that first pop up. Kind of expecting it to surge. Wrong of me to expect that. I was in for a really small amount, only like 50 shares, 30 some dollars worth. Or no, geez, oh Pete's 75 shares. Am I remembering all this wrong? Sorry, it's a little bit tough to read and go back on. It all happened relatively quick, but I was in and out on this really quickly. Like you can see, like it was only like 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds that I was in, with my initial scale in. So lost some buying power, getting in a little bit too early, jumped the gun, waited it out until we got to this pullback on the 1 minute, hit the 9 EMA and bounced, the way we were hoping for it. Bounce, took profit a few different times coming off this surge up, and then once again on this pullback, got in I think a little bit too early. um, I got stopped out on this drop right here in the pullback. What I got to be better about is letting this develop, at least on the 1 minute chart, for a strong move like this. And then we'd still probably be in riding this right now. This thing did pull back. It's still floating a bit above the 9 EMA, so we could still have had plays on this today with the remainder of our buying power. But just it being in a cash account, use some of our buying power up earlier on. So we got a buck 54 left is all we have, which is not worth playing with right now. So overall, not a bad day. Up $4.88. So happy with the result. Definitely noticing that my entries are still a little bit early, I guess, is the critique that I have for myself in this strategy right now. But the numbers are starting to play out. We're getting better at this. I think that on these losses, and I don't want to like break it down in full. We set our stop losses really good, and we got in and took a swing at a couple stocks that had potential. But what we noticed, John and I noticed this week, is that there's a lot of action. We were just talking about actually this morning. There's a lot of action in the pre-market. So I'm considering kind of jumping in on that and utilizing this strategy a little bit earlier in the morning. But I don't know. I'll do some research when I get the spare time and see if that makes sense. I'm going to finish the week out at least up till Friday, and just continuing with the 9:30 setups and go from there. But overall, not a bad week. Feel like I stepped my stop losses structurally correct, took the risks, got in there, took some swings at things, kept our losses small, below 2% on all of them since the last time I posted a video. So overall, really happy with that. Would love to see these winners ride out a little bit further, but I think part of that is, like I said, I think I'm getting in a little bit too early on my setups and not quite giving myself the room for things to work the way that they should. But more on that later. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more. But overall, I feel like things are going fairly smooth. Going fairly smooth. That's it. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet on this recap. We'll keep grinding away at it and see if we can't make something out of this.